Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Katie Reads Reddit. Today's episode is Found Out My Ex-Wife Has Been Having an Affair with My Brother Since January. But before we get started, please take a second to hit that subscribe button. My wife, 23, and I, 26, moved in with my mom, 46, and brother, 16, last year due to financial difficulties. Ever since we moved in, I noticed my wife take an unhealthy interest in my brother. When my brother wakes up to get breakfast, I always catch my wife staring at him when he makes it. The kitchen is clearly visible from the living room and he comes down topless. My brother's pretty ripped and is 6'5", so I don't blame her. However, I think it's inappropriate because she's my wife and is supposed to only take interest in me. I've asked my brother to put a top on, however he said that it wasn't his problem if my wife looked and refused. She also sometimes goes into his room to listen to music while laying in the same bed as my brother is in. I make sure to monitor them closely to make sure nothing shady is going on, however it's still too intimate for my liking. The other day we were Manchester United versus Manchester City and my wife did the usual of sitting on my brother's lap to share a spliff. I hate it when she does this as she shouldn't be sitting on another man's lap, especially my brother's. So this time I decided to confront her. I waited until my brother was out and told her to cut it off as she was my wife and therefore she should only take interest in me. She looked offended and told me to stop sexualizing everything my brother and her do and called me an asshole. I then listed all the concerning behaviors she exhibits pertaining to my brother as listed in the paragraph, and I said that it's most certainly her being too intimate with my brother. She hasn't really spoke to me since and has slept in my brother's room as she's trying to ignore me. Update. I posted this 3 days ago and although it's been a short time, a lot has unfolded. I read through all of your comments and although I felt attacked at first, I started taking heed of your advice. I reanalyzed everything that had happened over the past couple months and wrote them down on a pad. I also adapted my view on the situation. I recognized a lot of my concern with my wife and brother's relationship was controlling and didn't even begin to grasp the big issue. After your advice, I have noticed that her being married to me wasn't the primary issue, but her taking an unhealthy interest in my brother was. I sincerely apologize to all of you for looking at the situation in a selfish way and only caring about how it affects me rather than the predatory aspects of my wife's behavior towards my brother. The day after my post, I sat my brother and wife down to have a conversation about the concerning behavior my wife was exhibiting in regards to my brother and to gain more knowledge about their relationship. We conversed for 2 hours and it was probably the worst 2 hours of my life. To list a few things that were said, my wife confirmed that she experienced sexual attraction towards my brother. She confirmed that she was more attracted to my brother than she was to me. She said that for months she didn't see a viable and happy future for her and I and refrained from telling me because she didn't want me to be sad. They confessed to using weed exponentially more than they initially let on, and worst of all, they confessed to having engaged in sexual intercourse multiple times since January, mostly when I was at work and or out of the house. To say I felt destroyed and betrayed is an understatement. I found out 2 of the people I was closest to, 2 of the people who I loved the most dearly, betrayed me and destroyed my life. I lost my cool with the pair of them and demanded that my wife pack her things so I could drop her off at her parents' house within the next hour. I also kicked my brother out and told him that I didn't want to see his face for the foreseeable and indefinite future. After an intense 40 minutes with my brother absent, my wife had packed her belongings, so I took her to the car. She tried to pull the usual "I'm sorry, it isn't what you think it is" bullshit. However, I wasn't having any of it. We drove to her parents' house where she tried to give me a hug. However, I denied and told her to get her belongings and get the fuck out of my face. I detailed the situation to my mother over text and she came home from work immediately. I lost my cool on her as well, calling her neglectful and questioning her ability to parent. She demanded to know where my brother was and I was open with her, telling her I kicked him out. She screamed at me and told me to get out of her house, so I packed my belongings and I'm currently at my dad's as I write this. This has been an intense, hard, most excruciating and the worst couple days of my life. I'm certainly over with my ex and I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive my brother. Please give me advice, reassurance, anything. How do you never mention that your brother is a teenager and your ex is a predator? She's not sleeping with another man. She's having possibly illegal and definitely immoral sex with a minor. Priorities are way out of whack here. You can do better than her, man. She wants to be with a boy, not a man. She's gross, and I'm sure you'll find a great woman. Dude, this is a fucked up situation, but your wife is at fault in this. Your brother is a child. I don't care what the legal age of consent is in your state, but your wife took advantage of a literal child. Your brother is the victim here. He's 16, not 20. She had a 7-year age gap and is attracted to a child. Divorce her and move on. She's a horrible person. This isn't an affair. Your wife is a sexual predator. Your brother is her victim. Your ex-wife's fucking sick on multiple levels. Ask your brother how long she was acting flirtatious or sexually attracted to him. Let me know how you feel about this guy's situation in the comments below. Until next time, thank you for watching.